A lot of people have called me asking Rohit, should I invest in Bitcoin or not? So I decided to make this video to answer this question once and for all because I feel a majority of people who are thinking about investing in Bitcoin have absolutely no idea what Bitcoin is all about. They probably want to do it because their friends or their neighbors are doing it. When the price of Bitcoin goes up, they feel a fear of missing out. When the price of Bitcoin goes down, they begin to doubt their own decision. I personally have been studying Bitcoin for almost 5 years now. So I thought of sharing my take on a Bitcoin investment. Are you interested? Well, then hang on till the end of this episode because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So let's get into it. Welcome to episode 53 of the Rohit Radio Show. This is your host Rohit, and I help people achieve the freedom of time, the freedom of money, and the freedom of location so that they can spend more time with their family, travel more, and live a more real and a fulfilling life. In this episode, my goal is to give you a definitive answer on whether you should or should not invest in Bitcoin. But before we get into that, I want to invite you to come and attend my free Financial Freedom Masterclass, in which I teach people how to escape the 9 to 5 rat race in less than 5 years. This masterclass is 100% online. It is free. When you sign up, you get all your login details and you have lifetime access to it. So go ahead and claim your lifetime access to this masterclass. I will put the link in the description box below. This masterclass will give you your initial start towards your journey towards your goal of financial independence. Now, just to give you some context here, when you are investing in any cryptocurrency, just understand that you are getting into something which is new and evolving. So it comes with an element of risk and a lot of uncertainty. Always remember that. All right, coming back to our topic, should you or should you not invest in Bitcoin? Now, before we discuss Bitcoin, let's try to understand what exactly is the purpose of doing any kind of an investment, not just a Bitcoin investment. An investment is something that must produce cash flow for you. An investment is something that must create an asset for you. An investment is something that must produce some passive income for you. Trying to earn capital gains from an investment is a secondary objective of that investment, not the primary objective. The primary objective is always going to be cash flow. That too, monthly consistent cash flow. This is how the best investors in the world invest their money. They invest for cash flow, not for capital gains. Capital gains for them is simply a byproduct of making an incredible investment. When I myself am investing my money, I am expecting cash flow from that investment every single month. Else, I choose to stay away most of the times. And I do expect this cash flow to take care of part of my monthly expenses because I am investing with the goal of achieving financial freedom. I am not investing with the goal of becoming rich. There is a big difference between being rich and being financially free. Financial freedom is directly linked to making investments. That is the reason why investing for capital gains is like speculating. You are hoping that when you make an investment, someone in the future would be willing to pay more for the same investment than what you paid for it. In fact, there is a name for this kind of a situation. It is called as the greater fool theory. Now, coming back to Bitcoin, as we all know, is nothing but a digital currency. The fact that it is a currency means that it is neither an asset nor an investment, which means when you put your money in Bitcoin, it is not going to give you cash flow or passive income. So if you are thinking about making an investment in Bitcoin, you are most likely shooting for capital gains. And as we have discussed before, the secondary objective of investments is capital gains. The primary objective of investments will always be cash flow. So before you invest in Bitcoin, you must understand this important difference between cash flow and capital gains. If you are investing without understanding this difference, it means that you are speculating. You really don't know what exactly you are doing. You are probably investing because someone told you to do so. Mind you, I am not making a case against Bitcoin here. All I am saying is that when you are investing in Bitcoin, you should be aware of what I have discussed here. Another important point I would like to mention here is that Kim Kiyosaki, author of the book The Rich Woman and wife of my mentor Robert Kiyosaki, once said that we must always invest in something that we understand. We must never invest in anything that we do not understand. She goes on to say that if you want to understand silver, it makes sense to go out there in the market and buy at least 1 ounce of silver coin. Because she says that when you buy that coin, your knowledge about silver automatically starts to improve. Why? Because now you have money at stake. So naturally, that is going to make you curious about the price of silver. You would start asking yourself why the price of silver goes up and down. That is when you begin to learn about silver. This is called real financial education. You are trying to understand silver by simply putting in a little bit of money at stake. The same concept applies to Bitcoin. Before you invest in Bitcoin, you need to start asking yourself these important questions. What exactly is Bitcoin? Where does it come from? Is the supply of Bitcoin restricted? Who issues Bitcoins? Are there any regulatory concerns about Bitcoin? What are the risks involved in investing in Bitcoin? What are my financial goals, and does a Bitcoin investment fit into one of those financial goals? Do not invest in Bitcoin until and unless you answer those questions to yourself. Just because your neighbor or your friend is investing in Bitcoin doesn't mean that you have to do the same. And what if tomorrow the government puts a blanket ban on digital currencies or Bitcoin in particular? Then what are you going to do? All of these concerns should be on your mind when you are thinking of making an investment in Bitcoin. So here is my little take on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is simply a digital currency. It is not backed by any government. It runs on a software code. The supply of Bitcoin is restricted by this software code. Lots of people have tried to manipulate Bitcoin in the past, and all of them have been unsuccessful in doing so. Bitcoin has proved itself to be a resilient digital currency, one of its kind. Moreover, Bitcoin is the first digital currency of the world. It came out in 2009 and it has been around for almost 12 years now, as I discussed this. Bitcoin price has been extremely volatile during these years, but Bitcoin as of now seems to have stood the test of time, at least for the past 12 years. It is still in existence. It still has considerable value to people who buy it. There are thousands of other digital currencies available out there, but if you look at Bitcoin, it dominates the total market value of the entire digital currency space. Moreover, globally, if you see, people are losing their faith in paper currency. People are losing their faith in the US dollar. This is the reason why you see a shift of capital from paper currencies to digital currencies. Robert Kiyosaki calls Bitcoin as people's money. Even he has taken a stand on Bitcoin and has some investment in it. So the question is this: should you invest in Bitcoin or should you not invest in Bitcoin? Let us look at both the scenarios. Let's say you invest in Bitcoin at the current price, whatever it is. After you make the investment, what if Bitcoin crashes 20 to 30% in a week? Are you prepared enough to handle that kind of price volatility? If not, then you should not be investing in Bitcoin. If you invest in Bitcoin at the current price and the price of Bitcoin goes up from here, then you stand to make some capital gains, which is good for you. So this means that if you invest in Bitcoin, there is a risk that the price might come down. However, if you do not invest in Bitcoin, then there is a fear of missing out on a great opportunity. Both ways, there is a problem. Plus, not to forget the government risk or the regulatory risk for Bitcoin. If you buy Bitcoin and suddenly there is a complete blanket ban on digital currencies, then what are you going to do? Nobody has an answer to that question. If somebody claims to be an expert on Bitcoin, you must stay away. Because the concept of digital currencies itself is new to the modern world. It is not a tested concept. It is not yet adopted by governments worldwide. How can someone claim to be an expert on Bitcoin if Bitcoin itself is around 11 years old? So whenever such kind of a situation arises when it comes to making any investment, there is one middle ground that you can attain. What is this middle ground? The middle ground is this. What you do is your position in this investment should not be so large that in case if there is a price crash, it doesn't hurt your portfolio too much. And on the other hand, your position in this investment should not be so small that if the price goes up significantly, then you miss out on the opportunity. So I feel the ideal percentage should be around 2 to 3% of your net investable assets. Investable assets means those financial assets which you think you can invest for the achievement of your financial goals. This 2 to 3% of your net investable assets is the amount of money that you could think of investing in Bitcoin, provided you understand the risk involved in Bitcoin and you understand at least the basics of Bitcoin, and this investment fits into one of your financial goals. Only then there is a strong case for you to be considering this investment. If you are investing for any other reason than what I have mentioned here, then you are speculating. And speculation almost always leads to financial disaster. Ignorance is not always bliss in the financial markets. Ultimately, it is you who has to make a choice because it is your hard-earned money that you are going to be investing in something that is relatively new. And coming back to the point that I mentioned earlier about financial freedom is when your total monthly passive income either equals or exceeds your total monthly expense. And passive income comes from assets, and assets are created when you make investments, provided these investments are made in cash producing assets. This is what the richest people in the world do. I repeat that point. Invest for cash flow. Do not invest for capital gains if you want to achieve true financial freedom in your life. Last point I would like to make here is that when it comes to any kind of investment, it is simply a carrier that takes you from point A to point B in your financial life. Point A is where you are right now, and point B is where you want to go. So keep your eye on point B before you make any investment in anything. A lot of people get carried away by the price rise in Bitcoin and things like that. This is called as the shiny object syndrome. When you are focusing on a shiny object, you tend to lose sight of your ultimate financial goal. My style of investment is very simple. If I am not sure whether to make an investment or not, I simply put a small amount of money at stake so that my education about that particular investment automatically begins. Just like Kim Kiyosaki mentioned, if you want to learn about silver, then buy a 1 ounce coin of silver. Automatically, you will begin to start studying silver. So that was my little take on Bitcoin as an investment. Just to reiterate, Bitcoin is not an asset. Bitcoin is not an investment. Bitcoin is simply a digital currency not issued by any government. So my question to you is this. Will you take the time to study Bitcoin, or will you just invest because your friends or neighbors are making money in Bitcoin? Let me know in the comment section. I am all ears to your story. If you are truly serious about achieving financial freedom in your life, you will find out the answer to that question and do the right thing for yourself. I have confidence in you. Talking about financial freedom, again, I want to invite you to come and attend my free financial freedom masterclass, which I have specially designed for you, in which I teach people how to escape the 9 to 5 rat race in less than 5 years. The masterclass is 100% online, it is free. When you sign up, you get all your login details and you have lifetime access to it. So go ahead and claim your lifetime access to this masterclass. I will put the link in the description box below. This masterclass will get you started on your journey towards your financial independence. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. I have given you enough food for thought. I hope you got value out of this. This is your host Rohit signing off for now. I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye for now. Take care. Thank you so much.